pretty ordinary session, and I wanted to make a point of recording this at the moment, just recording a session that's pretty mundane. These are the sessions where 90% of training looks like that. 95% of this training block looks like that, where it's just kind of sets, reps, nothing crazy. So as you saw, I did 5s all the way up from 170, 200, 200, 220. Then I jumped from 220 to 250 for a couple of reasons. I could have done more sets at 220, probably could have done a set of 5 at 240, but I wanted to practice some bigger jumps, which I do think is better at the moment when the heavier absolute weights are heavier. It's useful to be able to take bigger jumps and waste less energy, but still be super proficient and super switched on when you take those big jumps. You know, I don't really want to be doing 240, 250, 260, 270, 280, 285, 290, blah, blah. I want to be boom, 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 switched on, straight in, as I said, no kissing, and get her done when they need to be done. So technically everything felt great, body feels good. Just tonight, just pretty drained. I don't particularly think it's from 240 for 11, but it certainly didn't help. Today is Wednesday. That was last Saturday. So it is a couple of days, and obviously it affects it somewhat, but just general life is draining. But I know sometimes when you're tired like this, not just with training, you feel like, oh, does this mean something's wrong, or does this mean I'm sad, or does this mean... No, it doesn't mean things like that, you know. And I think it's an easy trap we fall into. As much as it sounds like a cliche to say it, generally in the modern world, sometimes we have too much time to think. Some people don't think enough about the right aspects of their life. They don't put enough right introspection, but then they also have too much time to think about nonsense. Too much in their feelings, not enough thinking, not enough logical thought. And I think we kind of get caught up in how we're feeling and not really thinking clear through it. So it's kind of a paradox. It's kind of a comedy of errors in some ways. So this evening, I had objectively a fantastic evening. Had a good day at work. Everything's going great. Some fabulous time with my family. I came out here at about 8:30, put my son to bed, not because I had to, because I wanted to. I lay down in the bed next to him, he drank his milk, and he put his little hand on my chin, and I listened to James Blunt's album while he was finishing his milk, and we went for a walk before that. And objectively, it's incredible. Everything is fantastic, you know. But just because I'm not super high energy, you could fall into the mistake of being like, oh man, this is shit. But in reality, it's fantastic. And then I got it into my massive shed, and then I did some squats. So I added in those 250 kilo singles at the end to take the bigger jumps, but also because I didn't do any singles since 290, which was, what was that? Maybe 12, 13 days ago, I think, was it? Can't even remember what day I did it now. So I wanted to do some singles. And for those singles, it just needs to be relatively heavy-ish. So anything beyond 240. So anything I've been doing, very consistent working sets, will feel subjectively heavy and kind of heavy tonight. So they're pretty good. Technically, they're superb. Really working on pushing into full extension of my back, or what feels like full extension of my back as I'm standing up. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm in extension, but that's what I'm aiming for. So kind of pushing forward with the chest, almost pushing my head back, which I don't recommend you do, but something I was aiming for. Wrist is getting worse, which I think it's comical that my wrist is the most pain that I've had from this whole training block. So you can see it wrapped up. They're actually the wrist wraps we got in from Tayan from the Alico Training Center. Mr. Sangyang? No, that's not right. I can't remember his name. Really nice gentleman. Gave them to us, and he gave us the straps. So luckily, had those hanging around for the last couple of sessions. I really need to address it. I'm going to go see my therapist. So I see a manual therapist when I can. I'd like to see him more regularly, but he is unfortunately a 2-hour round trip away, or just slightly under 2 hours, depending if I stop off and get McDonald's on the way home. He is unbelievable. I won't go see anyone closer. There's loads of people closer, but I have been at this and seen too many people who I just don't like. I've seen a lot of great therapists, and pretty much all the other ones are either in a different country. There's another individual who's a 3-hour drive away, and Kevin in the west of the country, just about an hour, a little less than an hour, depending what time of the night I drive, and Nine Knife is an hour away. I just won't see anyone else because he's so good. He's helped me with so many things, from my jaw to my hip, bicep, tricep, and I need to see him with my wrist realistically. So I've been putting that off because I kind of didn't need to, but it's getting so sore now. It's hurting on the squats. So I was like, look, just get it, go see it. I can't even wipe my ass, my left hand at the moment. So that's how bad things are. But relatively speaking, everything else is great. So you can see that slightly wider hip stance, slightly toes out. Really nice and vertical here. I would like to be a little bit closer, but the wrist can't take it. But it still feels very good. Maintaining that back position is great. And trying to pinch the shoulder blades back a little bit and keep it as rigid as possible. And then just kind of push through in those 250s. Amazing how far I've come at the start of this block to kind of where I am at the moment. So I don't do anything else right now. I literally squat. I don't even do my elbow rehab from Dr. Steph currently. Since I hit 283, it's been all hands on deck. I do squats, I do cardio, and I do jiu-jitsu. And I mean, I just do squats. I don't do any assistance work. I don't do any single leg stuff. I don't do any abs. It's too late for that now. Well, it's not too late, but it's just not the time for it. So 20, 30 minutes of cardio every single day. I do jiu-jitsu currently once or twice a week, probably about twice a week. Except for like maybe last week and this week and maybe next week, but other than that, it's just those 3 activities I'm doing right now. So if you want to be good at something, you gotta specialize a little bit more. Now, you don't necessarily need to do that for a squat, but we've been over that. We've talked about how the squatting is something that is the way I'm doing this, is the way I wanted to do it, not necessarily the best way to do it. And as you can see from these videos, I am currently in the section where I said you'd end up, and where we recommend people go, and where we know people need to go, is that less frequent squatting sessions, more important sessions, which is what I'm doing now currently. So, and you can see how much resources I'm dedicating to this. It's proving at this point well. It's funny how it's going, and certainly enjoying it, but it'll be a great post hoc analysis. So I think that's kind of all we've got from today. Remember, check out the Seek a Strength app on iOS and Android if you want to progress your squat, and don't even have to think about it. You just put in your session, you put in your input, and you'll get a better predictive load, dynamic loading adjustment. You'll get the coach bot, an AI bot trained by us to give you questions, so your training answers. It's just getting trained on more questions all the time, and it's getting better. Seek Strength app, iOS and Android. We've got something really fun coming up for Christmas. Now, should I spoil it? I will spoil it because you guys watch training vlogs, and if you've watched it this far, we've got 12 days of reactions leading up to Christmas. So this was Dara's idea, and we've got a couple of things we're reacting to. Some of them are not obvious, but we are bringing back a commentary of weightlifting. If you have a suggestion and you've watched this far, do leave it below. I think we're going to go 2014 85 kilo category. I think that's a doozy, and the videos are up there. And then I've got a surprise illy one, which you'll never see coming, and the footage I have, no one else has anymore, I don't think, or probably doesn't have it. It's from about 4 years ago, and I was very diligent in collecting that footage, so that's a good one, and I won't spoil the surprise on that one. And then there's a couple other ones, a couple of weightlifting. We're going to do a judo competition, we're going to do some powerlifting, a few other things we'll find. Some novel things which we're inexperienced in, aka the judo competition, but we both love judo, and obviously plenty of weightlifting. So we're going to do 12 days of reactions, which we're slowly accumulating. And then we've a lot of plans for the videos. You'll see of some of the changes already on the YouTube channel. Dara's big training plans. I've thought very hard about my training plans after this, but that's not the time for now. And I think we've a direction we want to go with the videos, and you'll obviously see lots of shorts and reels from us, which is something we've been not diligent enough for a long time. And it's very, very important to move with the formats that are desired, and I really like making those shorts. So Alex makes a lot of them, and I try to make some of them. It takes a while to do it, and I really enjoy making them. It's such a nice little finished product. They're so entertaining. It's so encapsulated product. You get input, you get your output, you get a nice little finished artistic product. But of course, Alex is far better than I am, but I do enjoy making those. Sometimes the context in the video is lost a little bit, but they are, primarily eyeballs and entertainment. And if you can make a good short, it's all the better. And we've got some plans for that. I think I think given the response to the podcast season, I think we're going to do another one. It'll probably be a couple of months realistically, but I think we've started putting a list together of people we can get. A couple of people we want to go train with next year. I'm pretty excited for some of those, and they are more related to some of the future goals, and specifically some of Dara's goals. Some people want to go do some things with. Thanks for everyone who's watching. Seek a Strength app on Android and iOS. The app, as I say, it's best if you experience it and you'll see how much work we put into it and how valuable it is for your training. So Seek a Strength app, iOS, Android, and love you, little pumpkins. Enjoy your evening. Do your cardio, do your squats, do your row in your squat program. Loads of people running the horse program. People are loving it. I'm glad people love it. It's really, really, it's really satisfying. It's really fruitful. Thanks, guys.